The old trade order is gone, and there's no snapping back to it. The global trading system we knew is dead. The WTO can't negotiate, monitor, or enforce. Most favored nation status is being tossed aside, and both Washington and Beijing are tilting toward raw power over shared rules. Even if fragments of the old order survive, there is no going back. The shock was punctuated by the April 2nd Liberation Day move, reciprocal tariffs up to 50% on scores of countries, and threats to wield tariffs over non-trade issues. Basically, this is a kind of a summary of the author, which is Michael B.G. Froman, in his article After the Trade War, so Remaking Rules from the Ruins of the Rules-Based System. He is the president of the Council of Foreign Relations, and he served as a U.S. trade representative during the Obama administration and Deputy National Security Advisor for International Economic Affairs. Why such the long titles all the time? From 2009 to 2013. Basically, his argument is accept that higher barriers are now a feature of kind of the world, of the global trading system, and that we have to start building a better architecture from the rubble. Kind of is the bottom line up front. But the core lesson today is don't try to resurrect the 1990s. So instead, design flexible, purpose-built coalitions that align on what they can, like market access, regulatory standards, or shared economic security limits. And let others sit down when costs exceed benefits. These coalitions can liberalize among willing members, harmonize rules in areas like AI, or even coordinate restrictions, subsidies, and export controls to build secure supply chains. To make them durable, the U.S. should rely less on tariff sticks and more on carrots anchored in its innovation ecosystem, offering preferential access to the club or coalition for partners that align on broader economic and security interests. First, why the old system cracked and kind of the China reckoning. So WTO rules weren't built for the economy with China's scale and state role. Design gaps around subsidies, SOEs, IP, and developing country status collided with a surge of Chinese overcapacity and a manufactured goods surplus approaching $1 trillion. With the UN Industrial Development Organizations estimating China could be near 45% of global industrial output by the decade's end, so 2030. That strain eroded U.S. confidence in multilateralism and helped end the Doha round, basically when the WTO met in Doha, Qatar. Second, the costs of tariff-first. So more than half of U.S. exports are intermediate inputs, making them pricier directly dents U.S. competitiveness. In the 2018 steel and aluminum episode, basically they're doing this with steel and aluminum, economists found that roughly 1,000 jobs were added to the steel industry, but an estimated 75,000 fewer manufacturing jobs in steel-using sectors. So the steel industry productivity is down about 32% since 2017. Third, so uncertainty is a tax. When policy whiplash hits, consumers, companies, and investors sit on their hands, raising the risk that tariff shocks slow growth or even tip recession. Froman calls the United States the subject of a grand experiment in which the visible near-term costs are widely felt, while any benefits, if they come at all, arrive later and for fewer workers. Fourth, contagion risk. So if anyone plays unilateral tariff politics, we drift toward a pre-World War II world where trade is the weapon. So big economies may think the short-term math works for them, but unintended consequences pile up, and smaller, poorer countries lack the market power to play this game at all. Fifth is the alternative, so clubs kind of by function. For members, the coalition or club centers on market access and deeper liberalization. For others, it's about regulatory harmony or informal coordination. Think of like the Financial Stability Board model. Economic security coalitions can also align export controls, restrict sensitive imports like telecom gear from adversaries, and coordinate subsidies, while encouraging resilient supply chains across members. To attract and keep members, Washington should leverage its universities, R&D, capital markets, and entrepreneurial culture, making club membership a ticket to U.S. innovation rather than a response to U.S. threats. So the big takeaway of after the trade war is it isn't about lowering the temperature and pretending nothing changed. It's about acknowledging a world with higher barriers and then rebuilding predictability through targeted coalitions. Remember, uncertainty is like a tax. So the strategic pivot is from universal, lowest common denominator deals to high ambition clubs with clear benefits for members, and from tariff sticks to innovation driven carrots. There's no going back, but there is a smarter way forward.